How well do you think New Zealand performed in the 2023 World Cup? A question that has been the talk of the cricket world. As we know, New Zealand had a spectacular start in the tournament, claiming victory in their first 4 matches. But an interesting point to ponder here is, if we exclude England from those initial matches, their opponents were not considered the strongest teams. So, was it a genuine show of strength or just a lucky break? Stay tuned as we dive deep into the performance of New Zealand. New Zealand started the World Cup 2023 on a high note. Indeed, the Kiwis stormed out of the gate, marking their territory with an imposing string of victories. Their first 4 games were nothing short of a cricketing masterclass. Against the Netherlands, Afghanistan and Bangladesh, New Zealand showcased their prowess, executing their strategies with precision and flair. They were relentless, they were ruthless, and they were victorious. These nations, while not considered cricketing powerhouses, brought their unique challenges, and New Zealand navigated them with aplomb. Their 4th victory, however, was the one that turned heads around the cricketing globe. England, the former champion team, was anticipated to be a formidable opponent. Yet New Zealand managed to outplay them, adding another feather to their cap. This victory was not just a win in the tournament, it was a statement to the world. New Zealand meant business. Yet, it's essential to look beyond the victories. The teams they had vanquished so far were not the fiercest of competitors. Yes, they had defeated England, but the English team was noticeably out of form. Therefore, while New Zealand's initial victories were impressive, they were against teams that were not at their peak. The real test, the true measure of their mettle, was still on the horizon. The journey had begun on a promising note, but the road ahead was fraught with formidable challenges. New Zealand's encounters with cricketing giants like Australia, India, South Africa, and Pakistan were looming large. These were the teams that would truly test the Kiwis' claim to the World Cup. However, the real test was yet to come. The journey had begun, the wheels were in motion, and New Zealand was off to a flying start. But in the world of cricket, where fortunes can flip with a single delivery, nothing is certain until the last ball is bowled. The journey continues, and we are all strapped in for the ride. As the tournament progressed, New Zealand faced stronger teams. They first locked horns with Australia, a team known for its relentless aggression and tactical prowess. Despite a valiant effort, New Zealand fell short, conceding their first loss of the tournament. Next came India, a cricketing powerhouse with a formidable batting lineup and a well-rounded bowling squad. New Zealand put up a good fight, but the Indian team's performance was too strong to overcome, resulting in another loss for the Kiwis. Then they faced South Africa, a team renowned for its balanced mix of experienced and youthful players. New Zealand's hopes were high, but South Africa's superior play led to the Kiwis' 3rd consecutive defeat. The final obstacle was Pakistan, a team brimming with raw talent and unpredictable strategies. New Zealand, already reeling from 3 consecutive losses, was unable to stem the tide, resulting in their 4th loss in a row. Each defeat added another layer of disappointment, chipping away at the team's morale and confidence. The once invincible New Zealand were now in a precarious situation. Their initial victories had been overshadowed by consecutive losses against the major teams. Their standing in the tournament had taken a hit, and the road to the semi-finals was now steeper than ever. However, cricket is a game of glorious uncertainties, and while the New Zealand team had been dealt a series of blows, they were not out of the fight. They had shown their mettle early in the tournament, and they knew they had the potential to turn things around. Despite the setbacks, the hope for the semi-finals was still alive. The Kiwis still had games to play, opportunities to seize, and a chance to write a new chapter in their World Cup journey. They knew the challenges ahead were daunting, but they were ready to face them head-on. After all, it's not over until the last ball is bowled. Experts believe that New Zealand has a 60% chance of reaching the semi-finals. The Kiwis started off strong with 4 consecutive wins in their first matches, making their claim for the semi-finals quite compelling. However, the journey hasn't been all sunshine and rainbows. Their triumphs came against teams like the Netherlands, Afghanistan and Bangladesh, which are not considered cricketing powerhouses. When we shift our focus to the English team, the picture begins to blur. England was considered one of the main contenders before the tournament began, but their current form has proven to be a letdown. As the tournament progressed and New Zealand faced off against heavyweights like Australia, India, South Africa and Pakistan, the Kiwis had to swallow the bitter pill of defeat in all 4 games. Now, considering England's current form, one could argue that New Zealand's initial 4 victories were against easier opponents. Following Pakistan's victory over New Zealand, the semi-final list's arithmetic has been thrown into disarray. But let's not forget about Pakistan and Afghanistan. Despite the odds, Pakistan is still in the running with a 26% chance of making it to the semi-finals. Afghanistan, on the other hand, still holds a sliver of hope for a spot in the semi-finals. The tournament has been a rough ride for Sri Lanka, with crushing defeats from Australia, South Africa, Pakistan, Bangladesh and India. Now, all that remains are formalities. However, it's interesting to note a similarity between Sri Lanka and New Zealand. Both teams are under pressure to win after a series of losses. While Sri Lanka will be looking to salvage some pride, New Zealand will be fighting to secure a spot in the semi-finals. But cricket is a game of uncertainties, and anything can happen. As we inch closer to the semi-finals, the stakes are higher than ever and the tension is palpable. So, buckle up, cricket fans. We're in for a thrilling ride. Both New Zealand and Sri Lanka have been underperforming in recent matches. The Kiwis, despite their stellar start to the World Cup 2023, faltered against the stronger teams, losing 4 matches in a row. Sri Lanka, on the other hand, has had a disappointing journey throughout the tournament, with a series of losses leaving them with little more than formalities to complete. There's a striking similarity in the recent performance of both these teams. Sri Lanka has lost its last 3 matches against Afghanistan, India and Bangladesh, while New Zealand has also faced defeat in its previous 4 encounters. This shared predicament puts immense pressure on both teams to secure a victory for pride, if nothing else. Looking back at the World Cup history, from 2003 to 2011, there were 5 encounters between these 2 teams. Sri Lanka emerged victorious in all 5 matches, but the tide turned in the 2015 and 2019 World Cups when New Zealand claimed the win. However, the Asian subcontinent has always posed a different challenge. Out of the 40 matches played between these 2 teams in Asia, Sri Lanka has triumphed in 23, while New Zealand has only managed to secure 12 wins. 1 match ended in a tie, and 4 were draws. The scales seem to tip in favor of Sri Lanka when it comes to past records, but considering the current form, New Zealand holds the upper hand. Since 2006, out of 13 matches played in the Asian subcontinent, New Zealand has been able to clinch victory only once. But post-2016, New Zealand has won 7 out of 8 matches against Sri Lanka, albeit outside Asia. The upcoming match between New Zealand and Sri Lanka will be crucial in determining the fate of the semi-finals. With New Zealand's top-order batsmen like Rachin Ravin and Kane Williamson in good form, and Sri Lanka's batting lineup struggling, this match promises to be an intriguing encounter. The battle lines are drawn and the final stand is upon us. So what have we learned today? We've journeyed through the thrilling twists and turns of the World Cup 2023, spotlighting New Zealand's rollercoaster ride. We've seen how New Zealand had a spectacular start, winning their first 4 matches, but their victories were predominantly against teams not considered the strongest in the tournament. We've also discovered the unexpected fall of England, once considered a strong contender, but now struggling to find form. As the tournament progressed, New Zealand faced off against stronger teams like Australia, India, South Africa, and Pakistan, and unfortunately, they fell short in each encounter. We've analyzed the odds and predictions for the semi-finals. Even after a string of losses, the experts believe New Zealand still holds a 60% chance of making it to the semi-finals, while Pakistan's chances are estimated at 26%. Afghanistan, though an underdog, still has the door open for a semi-final entry. Looking ahead, we've discussed the upcoming pivotal match where both New Zealand and Sri Lanka will be under immense pressure to win. With Sri Lanka wanting to gift a victory to their fans and New Zealand aiming to secure their spot in the semi-finals, it's going to be a nail-biting experience. Let's wait and see how the drama of the World Cup 2023 unfolds.